You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Well, good morning to you, and welcome to Fox 35 News Plus. I'm Garrett Wymer, and thanks for joining us on this Friday morning, live on Fox Local, fox35orlando.com, and also live on YouTube. Coming up later in the show, we're going to talk with one of our theme park experts about a lot of theme park related news that has come out this week, including some renovations just announced at Disney's Grand Floridian Hotel. That will mean some changes for the holiday season coming up later in the year. We know that's a big event there, so we will have more on that later in the show. We'll also talk some Magic basketball, regular season coming to an end. The play-in tournament getting ready to begin, the Magic, the top seed in that, so we'll talk with Sean Green about that. Meanwhile, in the city of Orlando, officials are preparing for site visits to take survivors and their families through the site of the Pulse Nightclub shooting. That's something that they're gearing up for to happen this summer. We'll have the details on that and hear from city officials talking about how that process is going to work and why they think it's an important part in this process moving forward. But we begin today with the latest on this New York City tourist helicopter crash. Give you a live look at New York City there below on this Friday morning. We know 6 people died in that crash, just devastating images coming from that. And Fox 35's Robert Moses has the latest this morning from New York on where things stand after a late night on the Hudson River.
The chopper left from this helipad on the East River at 2:59 p.m. yesterday. 18 minutes later, police started getting 911 calls from people reporting a chopper was down in the Hudson River. That triggered an enormous emergency response. Unfortunately, there would be no survivors. Last night, water cascaded off the mangled fuselage of the sightseeing helicopter as a crane lifted it out of the Hudson and onto a waiting barge. Police secured other pieces of the doomed chopper for the investigation into what caused it to fall out of the sky. The Bell 206, carrying a family of 5 from Spain along with a pilot, left from the downtown Manhattan heliport right before 3 yesterday afternoon. It flew south towards the Statue of Liberty and then north, reaching the George Washington Bridge at 3:08 before turning back south. Chilling videos show its final seconds. A rotor blade appeared to fly off. At 3:17, police received multiple 911 calls reporting a chopper in the water.
The propeller just exploded and scattered, right? And then after that, we saw the plane was just spiraling down, like going from left to right like that. And we were like, oh my God, oh my God.
Among the dead are Agustin Escobar, an executive with the technology company Siemens, along with his wife Mercé Camprubí Montal and their 3 children. The pilot has not been identified. New York Helicopter operated the flight. The CEO, Michael Roth, told us that he doesn't know what went wrong. I'm a father and a grandfather, and to have children on there, I'm devastated. I'm absolutely devastated, he said, and I haven't seen anything like that in my 30 years being in business.
The investigation is ongoing, and we have the entire family members. We're lifting them up in prayer.
The family of 5 from Spain actually posed for a picture next to the chopper before taking off from here yesterday afternoon. That picture was posted briefly on the helicopter company's website. It was taken down after the crash. In Lower Manhattan, Robert Moses, Fox 35.
Just a horrific tragedy that happened there on the Hudson. And joining me live now this morning to talk about this is Captain Ron Alvarado, who is a pilot himself and the former commander of Marine One. And Captain Alvarado, we appreciate you joining us this morning here on Fox 35 News Plus.
Good morning. Glad to be with you.
So first, we heard the witness describe seeing a propeller explosion. We saw the video that showed appearing to show a rotor blade flying off. So what exactly do we think happened here?
Well, yesterday I was viewing the videos that were put on the internet and also many news stations. And my first reaction was to suspect it was mast bumping. Mast bumping is an event where a pilot, helicopter pilot, will overreact or overcontrol the cyclic, which is a joystick. So an abrupt forward motion of the joystick will cause the mast to come in contact with the rotor hub, essentially snapping the rotor system mast, which is holding the rotor system together. But after looking at videos this morning, there was another new video that came out. It appears the transmission of the helicopter was still attached to the rotor system. So that leads to, again, don't want to speculate, but it could be some type of mechanical failure when the rotor system departs flight from the fuselage with the transmission intact. Either way, just a heartbreaking event.
That is absolutely true. And this happened just 18 minutes after it took off. So is that something that could happen, that wouldn't take long to kind of manifest itself?
Yes, absolutely. So these type of events that occur, if it's maintenance related, and I've said it before many times on many interviews on TV, there's a series of events that occur that lead up to the actual mishap or the accident. So the NTSB investigators, FAA, they'll be looking at maintenance logs. They'll be looking at the pilot record and also weather. I don't think weather was an issue, but this seems to be a mechanical issue. So these maintenance records will be dissected for sure.
Is that the sort of issue that regular maintenance and checks on aircraft like this are supposed to catch or would be able to recognize and notice?
Absolutely. So the maintenance department that looks after these helicopters and the health of the helicopter, they have checklists. They have a series of inspections that they need to follow per FAR regulations, Federal Aviation regulations. So if they're following the rules of maintaining this aircraft properly, events like this shouldn't occur. But again, I don't want to speculate, but based upon what I've seen, it doesn't look like it's mast bumping, where that more than likely is pilot error. This seems to be a maintenance type of issue, especially again when the fuselage is departed from the transmission and the rotor system, and the tail boom was cut in half by the rotor blades as they departed the aircraft.
What does that maintenance look like? You talked about federal regulations for it. What does that look like, and what all does that entail?
Well, there's hourly inspections. So it could be a 100-hour inspection, 50-hour inspection. It depends upon the systems of the aircraft and also the cycle. Some parts need to be swapped out every so often. How engines need to be overhauled, of course. It could be 100,000 hours, but it depends upon the life of the airframe, life of the engine, life of the aircraft. I understand this is a Bell 206 helicopter, a little bit older, but so it depends upon the aircraft, the inspection cycles and the inspection checklists that should be carried out by properly trained maintenance personnel.
Our understanding, as the reporting has shown, is that this was a tourist helicopter, a sightseeing helicopter going on a tour of the area. Here in Orlando, those sightseeing helicopter tours are pretty common. We have a number of companies and businesses that do those here. What should people who do these keep in mind? Are there questions they should be asking when they show up about maintenance or anything like that, or anything that they should be watching out for?
Sure, absolutely. They should be very curious. So if, let's say I'm flying from California to Florida and I'm bringing my family, I want to do a helicopter tour, I'm going to investigate, or at least find out what's going on with the helicopter company. What's its track record? How long have they been in operation? Have there been any mishaps, any go online and check the blogs, social media about the helicopter or helicopter companies. Some pilots tend to be very aggressive. So I've got friends who fly for Hawaiian helicopters, and they're usually very older, but some of the younger pilots, from what I've heard, they tend to be a little aggressive, a little show-offish, if you will. I've read stories of passengers being scared because of abrupt movements of the pilot and the control inputs. So if I were a tourist or someone interested in renting or engaging in some of these tour companies, do your research. Find out what is going on with the company before you arrive. And when you do arrive, ask questions before you board the helicopter. Ask questions. And one thing that's kept me alive for 40 plus years of flying is if something doesn't look right, feel right, or sound right, more than likely it's not right. So that's, as a parent or as an authority, you got to stop and say, all right, time out. Let's see what's going on. I don't feel good about this. Let's ask some questions, talk to the pilot, talk to the chief pilot of the tour company. That should be the mindset of anybody getting on board one of these helicopters.
All right, for all the technology we have, sometimes you can't beat just that curiosity and gut instinct when it comes to asking questions and trying to figure out what's going on. So Captain Ron Alvarado, pilot, former Marine One commander, good talking with you this morning. We appreciate your insight always, and appreciate you joining us this morning here on Fox 35 News Plus.
No problem. Glad to be here.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. I'm Garrett Wymer, and thanks for joining us today. A man from Orlando is accused of attacking a jogger in a College Park. This happened yesterday morning, but police say this isn't the first time Tyler Fight has been charged with battery on a woman. Fox 35's Morgan Parrish has the detail.
Good morning. Yeah, so fortunately she was able to scare him away, and she did that by kicking and screaming. And we spoke with several people who live in the neighborhood who said that they are shocked to hear that something like this happened. It's also just a reminder, if you're out running, if you can, try to have a running buddy with you, especially when it's dark, because this happened at 4:30 in the morning. I want you guys to take a look at this video. This is the man that Orlando police arrested, Tyler Fight. They say he hit the woman in the upper body while she was jogging and she fell on the ground. That's when Fight tried to overpower her, but like I said, she was kicking and screaming, which police say ultimately made him run away. She then ran home and called 911, and College Park runners like Carolyn say they're shocked to hear a woman was attacked on her morning run on Thursday.
Our neighborhood is generally super safe, and I would never expect something like that to happen here.
And you can see he was caught on this surveillance photo. Police were able to arrest him, and that's because the victim shared his description on social media. Another resident saw someone matching it sleeping in a grassy area nearby. Police detained him, and the victim positively ID'd him. Now, police say he got out of jail 2 months ago, and he was charged with battery on another woman. He's been homeless ever since, living in the woods. So like you mentioned, that hearing is going to be later on this afternoon. We should have an update for you guys later on. Of course, we'll bring you those details both on air and online. For now, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, that court appearance scheduled for this afternoon. Now, some breaking news here in Fox 35 News Plus. A small plane crashes in Boca Raton on the southern part of the state. That's according to police. We don't have a whole lot of details right now of what exactly happened here. We don't know what led to the crash, how many people were involved, or if there were any injuries, that kind of thing. Still working to learn more. We have seen some interesting images on social media showing what appears to be this plane crash. So possibly some damage in that area as well. We will continue to follow up on this. Hope to have an update for you either later in the show or this afternoon on Florida Live. Meanwhile, a missing murderer convicted in Georgia, been on the run for more than 2 weeks now after he was mistakenly let go, released from prison. A family in Central Florida now worries that Hudson Guzman is coming for them. They say they're even sleeping in shifts to stay alert and keep an eye out. As Fox 35's Marley Capper reports, law enforcement says he could be anywhere.
Good morning. That's right. Police have not given us any indication of where they're searching, and this is terrifying for this family. They're praying that law enforcement can find him quickly so this nightmare could all be over. Take a look at this video. What we know is that Hudson Guzman was supposed to serve a life sentence for strangling and killing his girlfriend, Delilah Grayson, in her apartment back in October of 2024, but was just released in error by the Clayton County, Georgia jailers on March 27th. Delilah's mother is scared that he's going to come after her or maybe her 6 children. She describes him as the guy next door and an introvert. She's just shocked that this happened.
Disbelief, disappointment, shattered. There's no explanation. It seems like the big runaround, to be honest. We're pulling shifts, my children and I. We're sleeping in shifts, and when you knocked on the door, I had to disarm myself, so I carry, conceal, and walk with my gun everywhere.
Absolutely scary situation. Guzman is on day 15 of being on the run. Again, law enforcement has not given us any indication of where exactly they're searching, but we hope that they find him soon.
A live look at Daytona Beach on this Friday morning from our Hard Rock Hotel camera there. Beautiful day to be out there. Going to be a beautiful weekend. A little bit cooler temperatures than we have been seeing, but certainly a beautiful start to the day on Daytona Beach right now. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Jessica Dobson joins me now. And Jess, we have made it to the weekend and have a beautiful weekend forecast ahead of us.
Oh yeah, this is a forecast to be excited to talk about. And even today, we're going to be expecting a little bit of a warmer day, yes, but all in all, it's still going to be quite pleasant. So even through lunchtime, we're talking temperatures in the mid-70s. So if you maybe want to get a little bit of a head start on your weekend, not that I blame you, it's going to be really nice. Or even if you maybe want to head outside, take lunch to the patio, you'll be in great shape. We will be expecting temperatures to slowly but surely climb into the middle 80s for this afternoon. So it is going to be a little hotter than what it felt like yesterday, but still a good amount of sunshine. Not going to be expecting too many issues as far as, any sort of rain is concerned. That's not until tonight. But when it comes to our high temperatures across the board, we actually, for the most part, will be staying in the mid-80s for this afternoon. Almost said the mid-70s because that's where we have been, but even across the beaches, mid-80s. 84 degrees your high temperature today in Daytona Beach, 83 in New Smyrna, 85 as well in Titusville, 85 our high today in Orlando to Bithlo, and then 80 83 from Leesburg and into the Villages come later today. Now, all of that being said, it's going to be a little bit of a breezy day, nothing too crazy, but some of our gusty winds factored in with low humidity and also our worsening drought conditions will give way to a fire weather warning. That's going to be for most of our counties in Central Florida, with the exception of Sumter and Brevard counties, also Flagler County. So that will be for Volusia, Orange, Seminole, and Polk, as well as Osceola. So this is going to be where we have the potential of seeing increased fire danger. And what that essentially means is you want to limit any sort of outdoor burning. So it's incredibly dry. We need rain. We have now entered parts of Central Florida into a severe drought as of yesterday. So we certainly need the rain. Now, that being said, it is going to be a little on the breezy side, and we will see some showers later today. It's just not going to be enough to kind of bust us out of this drought. So just something to keep in mind, even just the smallest embers when it's windy like this and just so dry can really cause fires to spread very quickly and become out of control very quickly as well. So we don't want that to happen and take place today. So officials are really urging you to be mindful of that. Now, when our forecast comes later today, we're going to be talking about increasing winds ahead of a cold front. So this is actually going to be late tonight. We're going to start to see a few showers filter in from our north. This is going to mean that we're looking at, a couple of showers and storms take place near the I-10 corridor just to the north of Gainesville through about 8 o'clock. Now, by roughly midnight, we're going to be seeing those showers and storms a little bit closer towards Central Florida, more so really along the I-4 corridor. That's going to be kind of the splitting factor for who sees the rain today, or more so tonight, and who doesn't, because this is going to be taking place while honestly a lot of people are either heading to bed or fast asleep. So if you wake up to the sound of maybe some heavy rain on your rooftop, a rumble of thunder, don't be too caught off guard. It would likely be due to this line. It's going to be a broken line though, and in all honesty too, I'm not even certain we're going to see this much rain out of it. That would be great, but at this point, it looks like it's still going to be pretty dry for the majority of us, and these are going to be some quick moving and fast moving downpours. So we'll see some showers, and then they'll exit pretty quickly. So this is by about midnight tonight. Fast forward through about 1 a.m. We'll likely see these showers begin to really encroach on the downtown Orlando area, Orlando Metro, Seminole, Volusia, parts of Polk County there you can see, and into Osceola. They start to dissipate pretty quickly, and then by about 3 and 4 in the morning, they'll work their way into Osceola County and Brevard counties, where they really fall apart, and we're going to see drier air really help for these to just dissipate rather quickly. So by 5 a.m., well before sunrise tomorrow, we're looking pretty dry, and that will just lead to high pressure building in and a really nice looking forecast as we head throughout the weekend. So it's going to be picture perfect. Did bump up our temperatures a little bit, but 77 tomorrow, 80 Sunday. That's pretty manageable. We're still looking quite nice. And we do have some cooler morning temperatures, by the way, on Sunday morning. I do want to throw these out there because if you have any sort of Sunday morning plans, especially right around, I would say, sunrise, so right around 7:15 through, say, roughly 9, 10 a.m., that's where we're going to be seeing and really capitalizing on some cooler temperatures, dipping down into the 40s and 50s. Most of us, I think, will make it into the 50s. A few spots in our more rural spots, so say Ocala, you'll see a low near 49, 50 in the Villages, 51 in Palm Coast. So still a little on the brisk side come Sunday morning. Just take advantage of it though. It's going to be a day where you can see some of that free AC because in true summer fashion, or not even summer, it's not summer yet, spring fashion, Florida fashion, I should say, true Florida fashion. We're going to be warming things back up. A high of 86 by our Monday, 88 by Tuesday. Very nice though for this weekend. And the only chance of rain we have so far is going to be for tonight, and that is a 20% chance. So just something to consider. Keep those drought conditions in mind, especially when we have some breezier days on tap. Come Tuesday night into Wednesday, we'll see another front try and push through. It will help to drop temperatures back down just a little bit by Wednesday, but otherwise in terms of rain chances, it just looks pretty abysmal in terms of those rain chances specifically. So just a couple of reminders, but if you are a fan of the drier and warmer weather, we've got a really nice stretch on the way for this weekend and into next week.
Going to be a beautiful weekend. I think the way you described it, picture perfect, is just about as accurate as I think you can get with that.
Totally, yeah. And first of all, there's so many things happening this weekend in Central Florida. If you don't have plans, you got to make some because you don't want to let this weekend kind of slip by. And we're not going to get too many more of these, so just keep that in mind too.
All right, we will get out and enjoy it. Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist Jessica Dobson, we appreciate you joining us this morning. As we go to break here on Fox 35 News Plus, leave you with a view of downtown Orlando on this Friday morning. Keep it right here on Fox Local. More Fox 35 News Plus to come. Welcome back to Fox 35 News Plus, continuing to track this breaking news out of Boca Raton. This is the scene of that small plane crash. We know this is near I-95, North Military Trail. It is closed because of that small plane crash. You can see quite a bit of debris and other things there in the roadway, off the side of the road as well, near the train tracks as well. We know the I-95 overpass at Glades Road is also closed. That's what you see right in the top of your screen there. So investigators, or first responders rather, still on the scene. Still don't have a whole lot of details about what exactly happened with this. We know it happened, or at least we know the police department posted on social media around 10:45 this morning to let folks know about it. They're asking people to avoid the area while they try to figure out what happened. We still don't know any details on the crash or how many people were involved, what the injuries might be, if any. Trying to learn those details, continuing to track this story as it develops. And as this chopper you see kind of gives us a little bit of a wider view. You can see I-95 there. You see North Military Trail as well. Again, this is in Boca Raton, small plane crash there. Hard to tell exactly just how bad it is just from this vantage point, but you can see quite a bit of debris as well on the roadway, the train tracks, the side of the road, the median there, and a lot of things. So we are continuing to follow up on this. Give you a live look right now at downtown Orlando as well, where we know the city of Orlando getting ready to let family members of victims and also survivors of the Pulse Nightclub shooting into that nightclub later this summer. Those site visits are going to happen June 12th through 14th. You know, June 12th will be the 9th anniversary of that nightclub shooting. This, again, is only for families and survivors, but the city has been in contact with them to talk about this process. They say this will be their only chance to visit the interior of that club if people want to, if their loved ones want to go inside to remember, to grieve, and maybe use that as part of their healing process before that building is torn down later this year and a permanent memorial put in its place. Earlier this morning, in fact, just a little bit ago, Fox 35's Marley Capper spoke to the city's outreach and engagement coordinator about this process and what they want people to know about this sensitive step.
To actually feel through this, not as closure, because you lose a child, you lose a loved one, a mother, whatever. Is there really closure ever? But there is a process of grief, that this might be a healing for those folks who are going through that process, because grief is individualized. It is a process, not an event. It's one thing that might help them, but for us, preparation is key. Knowing that we're going to take them through it, help them understand what they will see, and they have every opportunity, even at the last minute, to say, you know, I don't think I can go. Yeah. And that's okay. That's taking care of yourself, and we need to meet people where they are, and that's what we intend to do.
Definitely. So I know you had mentioned it's a 2-hour process from doing a briefing, meeting, driving to the location, 30 minutes walking through, and then returning back.
Absolutely.
What are they going to experience when they are physically in the site? Is it a tour of the building? What's the layout going to look like?
You know, we're not planning a tour. You know, it isn't a tour. It's experiential for them. It's emotional for them. And again, meeting people where they are and letting them do things at their own pace. And we'll be with them every step of the way. There will be behavioral experts with them. There'll be clergy with them. There'll be other family members or their supports that they bring with them. So everything that we can do, that we have learned from others, we're applying here. And we intend to make this a very individualized process for them, to always be there for them. If they need a break, they get a break. If they need to leave, they're able to leave. So it really is very individualized.
So it's going to look different per family and per
It absolutely is.
Absolutely. How many people have reached out so far to sign up?
About 30 plus, but we're planning, you know, that people seeing this media approach, that will help them kind of get to that place where they're deciding, is that what I want to do? Is it not what I want to do?
And it's only for families and survivors, correct?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. What would you say has been the biggest challenge getting all of this set up? Is it spreading the word, or is it, you know, just obviously you guys have grabbed a lot of information. How has that process been?
You know, we've started this process. You know, even during the committee process, we listened to what people were saying, because not only did the committee bring their voice, they brought a community voice to the table. So we listened very intently, and we know that this is important to a number of people. So we're pushing out. We're going to do a lot of serious outreach, because a lot of these families don't respond. And so we're hoping that if they want this opportunity, we want to give them every chance. So we're going to do some very robust outreach. We're gathering up and getting our lists in order and making sure we have good contact information for folks. And that process starts almost immediately. The email went out really today. So they'll get that information. We have advocates that are going to work to do robust outreach to people they know. We have a lot of advocates out there that work with a lot of these families that will help through that process of getting application process in, so we can vet them and get them registered. Certainly a very important step. You know, when you really seek to do the right thing, when you really seek to meet people where they are and make this a part of their healing journey, that's pretty spectacular. There are a lot of people who will never get through it, but the human spirit's very resilient, and if you give it opportunity, it can heal. And that's exactly what we're looking for. I think it's step by step. And get those applications into us. If you need help, contact us. Those emails are available to you. Reach out, we'll help.
So the emails went out to everybody. There's an application in the email. They need to fill that out, and then that way they can get connected to you.
That's right.
It's not like an approval or denial
It is
process?
it's a vetting process. Okay. We want to make sure the people that are signing up are actually the families, really, actually the survivors, and we have the ability to check on those things from all the records we've had since 2016.
So then they'll either be approved or denied, and then that'll happen later this year?
Yep, we want those things in, I think, by May 8th, And then we start the vetting process. Then we start that kind of robust communication and making sure that everything is good for them, and then we're off.
And then in June, you guys have lots of ways that you guys are celebrating as well. Do you want to
Yeah, we've got the Rainbow Run, we've got the ribbons they're coming, and the Remembrance Ceremony. You know, only difference is it won't be at the Dr. Phillips Center this year, it'll be at the church. But still, you know, got a lot of things to do, a lot of plans.
So as you heard them talk about the end there, a number of events as part of the 9th anniversary of that tragedy coming up as well. We're going to take a break here on Fox 35 News Plus, but we'll be right back.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Continuing to track breaking news out of Boca Raton, we just got some details from the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. They tell us that this plane crash involved a Cessna 310, so again, a small plane. It crashed around 10:20 this morning. It had taken off from Boca Raton Airport in Florida, headed to Tallahassee. According to the FAA, we're told 3 people were on board. We still don't know the conditions of those people on board. Still not no information about that. We'll have to get that from local authorities. But we know the FAA, the NTSB are investigating. We also expect some updates from NTSB because they will lead this investigation. So again, still not a lot of details about who was involved in this and how they might be doing after this plane crash. But again, a live look from Boca Raton. This is near I-95 North Military Trail, and you can see a lot of debris from the plane crash. This was a Cessna 310 that crashed around 10:20 this morning. 3 people on board. Still a lot of questions. We are still trying to learn more information, but first responders are on the scene. We know the I-95 overpass there is closed. We know that that road that you're seeing this right along, that these train tracks run alongside, is also closed. Police there in Boca Raton asking folks to avoid that area. But we will continue to try to learn more answers about this and have updates later. We're going to take a break here on Fox 35 News Plus, but we'll be right back after this.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Live look at Kia Center, home of the Orlando Magic, on this Friday morning. The Magic are out of town, though. They're in Indianapolis, getting ready to take on the Indiana Pacers tonight at 7 at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The regular season coming to a close, getting ready for the playoffs here. And joining us live now to talk about where things stand is independent reporter Sean Green. Sean, good to see you. How you doing?
Good to see you, Garrett. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. So things are winding down for the Magic. They somehow clawed their way to where they are now. I just kind of set it up for us on how things are looking as they get ready to what, they hold the top spot in the play-in tournament.
Yeah, so they clinched that a couple days ago, which, if you were to tell me back in February the Magic would be 40-40, back to 500 with 2 games remaining, and that they would clinch a play-in spot, the one that you want, which is the 7th seed, I'd probably tell you you're crazy. The Magic were not playing good for a majority of the season. They've been, injury riddled, but they've kind of figured some stuff out as of late. And I think what they figured out is Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner are very good at basketball. They've played at an all-NBA level, and that's kind of catapulted the Magic to having the best slot that they possibly can. Obviously, you want to be in the playoffs. That's still something the Magic are vying for. But being the 7th seed in the play-in, to be able to have 2 shots to make the playoffs is best case scenario.
And you said there is some new information about who will be playing, who will be sitting tonight.
Yeah, there was a question on would the Magic really want to continue playing their starters, continue playing their stars these final 2 games, even though the 7th seed is already locked up. I think we kind of got that answer. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope will all not play tonight. We don't know if that means they won't play on Sunday against Atlanta. Obviously, Atlanta is a team that you can probably expect that next Tuesday will be in that 8th spot where the Magic will be facing them in a do-or-die game to go into the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see if the Magic rests those guys on Sunday. But for tonight, they will rest them against the Indiana Pacers.
So how were the Magic able to do this? I know you kind of touched on what they learned a little bit, because there really were some rough times where this was all in question, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you really look at it from last year compared to this year's standpoint, obviously last year they were much healthier. They were taking the next step, but they got to 47 wins last year. Right now they're at 40 for this year. With all of the injuries and all of the bad basketball, they are only 7 wins behind last season. So it really does make you question what this team could have been if they stayed healthy. But there was a lot of challenges coming back from injury for Paolo and Franz, learning how to play again. But ultimately, since the All-Star break, the Magic have, again, like I said, really found their identity again. Paolo Banchero has been one of the best players in the NBA since the All-Star break. He's averaging 30 points a game since the All-Star break, the second leading scorer since that time. And Franz Wagner has been, again, playing at the level he's been playing the entire year. So obviously, there are still major weaknesses on the team. Offensive struggles are an issue and will be an issue moving forward. But I think you can go into the play-in game next week confident and positive where they came from and where they got to this late in the year.
We know they're still going to have to play without Jalen Suggs, but do you think all of those injuries, as bad as they were earlier on, do you think they were able to? Do you think they're a better team for that and going through that now that they are quite a bit healthier at this point in the season?
I think you can make that argument that they've kind of learned ways to win games that they maybe could have won a lot easier back in November. But I think ultimately the Magic, and this is where I think fans kind of get nervous, the Magic need their pieces. They need all their pieces. I think you can go into the play-in and potentially the playoffs with a little bit more of a chip on your shoulder and confidence, knowing that you got to this spot with all of the drama surrounding the season. But you do have to feel going into the next week or so that whoever the Magic play, they're going to be a significant underdog. And the major holes that they do have don't really set you up for success compared to the teams that you're going to be playing. If the Magic get out of the play-in next week, say they win on Tuesday, they'll be playing the Boston Celtics in the first round, the defending NBA champions. And with the team the Magic have, though they can have confidence, it's going to be a tall test regardless.
So what is the ceiling for this team as things stand right now, do you think?
With the injuries, the ceiling is a first round exit. I don't see the Magic making more of a run than that. Obviously, I think whoever they play in this first round, if they get out of it, again, they need to get out of the play-in first. But I think nobody wants to see the Magic. We've talked about that. They give teams major fits. And I think you saw that last year with the Cavs. They played the Cavs to tooth and nail, went to a game 7. And then that second round matchup, the Cavs really just didn't play good. They looked gassed. And I think that was in large part due to the Magic. So I think if you're the Boston Celtics, if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, you do not want to see the Magic in the first round. With that being said, though, the talent far outweighs the Magic's with whoever they play. So unfortunately, that's the ceiling. But next year, we might be having a different conversation with a lot of the moves the Magic can make.
Do you think they will be a little more active this offseason after they didn't do a whole lot last offseason and are kind of having to deal with the ramifications of that?
Garrett, they can go one of two ways. They can look at themselves in the mirror and say, we need to make this team significantly better. Or B, they can use the excuse of we've had a plethora of injuries and we're going to run it back with this version of the Magic healthy. I would significantly go with the first option. I think we know what this team is. They need more offensive firepower. That is for sure. But getting Jalen Suggs and Mo Wagner back, in my opinion, the heartbeat of this Orlando Magic team. You've been without your heart for basically the entire year. So I think regardless, getting them back will be huge. But going into this offseason, we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But the Magic definitely need to reshape their roster and rethink how they want to move about this for sure.
All right, a lot of questions, but we will see how things wrap up with the still 2 games left and then the play-in tournament. So Sean Green at Sean Mr. Green, we appreciate you joining us here on Fox 35 News Plus.
Thanks, Garrett. I appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. I'm Garrett Wymer, and thanks for joining us on this Friday morning live on Fox Local and on YouTube. It's been a busy week in theme park news, and there's still more to cover. So that's why we are bringing in Theron White, who is the lead publisher of EYNTK.info. And Theron, we appreciate you joining us this morning here on Fox 35 News Plus. All right, and so let's start here by talking about this baby giraffe unveiled at Disney. A lot of excitement about seeing this giraffe, and really cool to get to see that.
Absolutely. So Disney's kind of been on this parade of debuting either new animals or baby animals, and this is just yet another option. This is little Tucker, and by little, he's quite tall. He's over 6 feet tall, but you can see him out on Kilimanjaro safaris over at Disney's Animal Kingdom. He's going to be a Maasai giraffe. He is the son of Mara, and one of her many kids, in fact. There is only 30,000 left of these giraffes in the entire world. So it's great to see that Disney's working with a lot of zoological teams and collaborations throughout the world to deal with these giraffes and their dwindling numbers. And of course, I mean, seeing a baby animal, especially a giraffe, that's just incredibly cute out on the safaris.
Right. I mean, all the baby animals are great, but the baby giraffes, just like how tall they are, those long legs. I mean, it's hard not to love it.
Yeah, and at their current age, they're, you know, any baby, any small animal, they're going to be a little awkward, and that's what I think is kind of what people might enjoy is Tucker looks a little awkward out there right now, and it's kind of funny to be able to just go out and see some of their natural, you know, behaviors and stuff out in the wild. They do get a little spooked sometimes, so he's still getting more used to people, but you will actually, again, then see a giraffe's natural behavior because of that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. We got some new details about what's happening with the renovation of the lobby at the Grand Floridian. Talk us through what we know about this so far.
Yeah, so as you know, the Grand Floridian is one of, if not Walt Disney World's most famous hotel here in Florida. They're going to be completely redoing their lobby, their main floor lobby. So as you can see here, it's going to be renovated, it's going to be changed, but it's not really changing the theming that we know. They're going to be adding a little bit of different seating, a little bit of different designs, but overall it's going to maintain the same general vibe and general look that we've known. The main thing you're going to notice is the difference, though, is the birdcage inspired bar. So there was a birdcage there, an antique styled one. Even the elevators in the lobby are themed to that, and now we're going to have a little bar space there. This is going to be, construction is going to be happening throughout this year. The Disney spokespeople said specifically that work will continue throughout the year. So there wasn't an exact timeline that was given yet, but they have confirmed that for this upcoming Christmas season that the gingerbread house will not be available at this specific resort. They're still going to be doing gingerbread houses throughout other hotels throughout Walt Disney World and some of their Christmas decorations, but this specific one is not going to be offered this year as they're doing lobby renovations. No exact time frame yet, but obviously throughout the Christmas season it's going to be missing.
This is your video from this past Christmas in the lobby there. We know, obviously, always a sight to see.
Yeah, I mean, they do a fantastic job at all the resorts, and this is definitely an iconic one just from the work they do. I mean, that's an extensive Christmas decoration to build this entire structure just out of gingerbread. It's loved, it's a tradition, so of course, it should be expected to come back next year, but for this season, you're not going to see that while they're doing work on the hotel itself.
All right, Theron, at Universal, Volcano Bay Nights kicks off tomorrow.
That is correct. Yes, this is going to be the first time that they are going to have an event that is specifically about Volcano Bay at night. It's going to be $100. It's going to come with early admission starting at 4. The event goes all the way up until 10 o'clock at night. There's going to be some free food, some specialty food and beverages that you can buy. And then, of course, you get to enjoy this park at night. Before it was ever built, they were doing nighttime testing and people were expecting it to be open at night all the time. That has never happened until now. So I'm very excited to see it. I'll be there tomorrow to go and check it out. And I'll make sure to get back to you guys to kind of tell you what it's like, because I'm excited to enjoy this. Is already one of my favorite water parks in the entire world. So now to enjoy it at night, to kind of have a limited crowd, new entertainment, and of course, enjoy some of these attractions in the dark will be really, really interesting.
Theron, we also got word this week about Universal's Helios Grand making dining reservations available, and those start soon.
Yes, this is going to start this upcoming Wednesday on April 16th. I'm very excited about this, especially if you're a Florida local. Maybe you're someone that's not going to go to Universal Epic Universe as soon as it opens, but you've been curious. You want to know what it's like. So you can grab reservations on the Resi app. That is RESY. It's currently the only spot I've seen available for you to get those reservations. You can get it for the rooftop bar, the Helios bar, or you can get it for the Flora Taverna, which is going to be the downstairs restaurant. The downstairs restaurant is going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner options, or you can just do dinner and cocktails on the top. But you get to look out over Universal Epic Universe. I'm sure it's going to offer incredible views. They have a couple of different seating options, including one that's called Rail 1 through Rail 6. I don't have an exact explanation for what that is, but because it's on the rooftop, my assumption is going to be that that is going to be looking right out over the park, sitting outside. I'll be interested to confirm exactly what that is, but we know it's going to have incredible views. I mean, it's the Universal Helios Grand. It's basically sitting in the theme park, and it's looking over this brand new destination.
A lot of excitement about that, and things really kind of building up toward that May 22nd opening of the park that is coming up really soon. Finally, Theron, and this isn't theme park news, but still obviously tourism related. And I know you were at an event yesterday as Bahamas Air celebrated 40 years at MCO.
That is correct. So Bahamas Air joins the Orlando International Airport 40 years ago, and they were glad they could actually celebrate that. They had some of the executives and people from the Bahamas fly in and kind of give a gift to Orlando. Orlando gave a gift to them. Florida is the #1 tourism destination that goes to the Bahamas. So they said this has been such a big impact when it comes to their tourism. Around 70% of the entire nation's income is directly related to tourism. So having flights there is definitely an amazing option. It really, really helps out the locals there. And of course, it helps us Floridians. They specifically said yesterday that they are so glad that the Bohemians can come to our magical kingdom and that we can go and visit their tropical paradise. So it's great to see that this partnership has been there. For what I check on your average day, this is the cheapest possible way to go from Orlando to the Bahamas. They specifically fly into Nassau 7 days a week. And then they said they're hoping throughout this year to start offering 2-day-a-week flights over to Freeport. So if you're looking for an option to go to the Bahamas, and you don't necessarily want to take a cruise or a boat, that's a way that you can go and explore a bunch of the islands there as well.
All right, good stuff. It's been a busy week in theme park news. I'm sure things have been busy for you, Theron. Maybe you can take a break now and maybe go to one of those theme parks this weekend.
Yeah, I'll be at Volcano Bay Nights tomorrow and then Epic Universe next week. It never ends, but I mean, I'm not going to complain. I love this. That's
right. Well, Theron White, lead publisher of EYNTK.info. We appreciate you joining us here on Fox 35 News Plus.
Always happy to join.
That's going to do it for us here on Fox 35 News Plus this morning. We hope you join us at 2 p.m. though for Florida Live. We've got a lot of things in the works. We will also continue to track the latest of this plane crash in Boca Raton. Hopefully have some new details on that coming up in just a little bit. So keep it here on Fox Local.